Hi guys, in this video we're going to be testing the Conspiracy Palette by Jeffree Star Cosmetics and Shane Dawson. The price of it is $52. I bought mine on beautylish.com and I have also paid for duties and taxes $10.40. This palette is cruelty free and vegan. We're going to start with the swatches. After that I'm going to do an eye look with as many eyeshadows as possible. At the end of this video we're going to be talking about the packaging, the color story, and also how practical is to use this palette. This is named as an eyeshadow and pressed pigment palette. That's because some of the eyeshadows may stain your skin and they are pressed pigments. The palette is made in the USA and the eyeshadows can last up to 12 months. You can extend the longevity of the eyeshadows if you use them with clean fingers and brushes. Let's open the clasps and see the eyeshadows up close. On the first row we have Ranch, My Peels, Tanacon, Diet Root Beer, Just a Theory, and Spiraling. What do you think about the first row? I think that we can make a lot of everyday looks with these. On the next row we have Conspiracy, Pigment, Food Videos, Tricia, Cheese Dust, and Flaming Hot. Tricia is a little bit drier and not as shiny as I thought it would be. In the pan it looks that it would be something more metallic. On the third row we have What's the Tea, Diet Cola, Not a Fact, Sleep Paralysis, Illuminati, My Rights Here. On this row, this eyeshadow here has a nice sheen. These two are not very shiny. Let's take all the hair back, and I have primed my eyes with the Fit Me Concealer by Maybelline. I have also set it with the fixing powder by Deco Cosmetics. I'm gonna start... Oops, this palette is difficult to hold it for makeup tutorials. I'm gonna start with Eyeshadow Ranch. This is a white shimmery eyeshadow, and I'm going to highlight my brow bone with this one. Okay, I'm going to remove some product from the bristles. I'm going back and forth near my brow bone so I can make it more wearable. I will try to do a more everyday look with a lot of the eyeshadows. I think that it's not very shiny. I'm using just a little bit more to see if I can make it shinier. Even with the second layer, I think that it's not very shiny and metallic. Let's continue with eyeshadow My Peels. This one is a light pink eyeshadow with a matte finish. We have a lot of kickback from this eyeshadow. Look at this. I'm going to tap the excess off. With an eye blender brush by Essence, I'm going to diffuse this in the crease area. I'm going to take just a little bit more, and I'm trying very lightly to touch the eyeshadow because I don't want to create more kickback, but it is very soft. And I'm going back and forth into the crease. I can see that it gives a very light pink color, so I think it has a nice pigmentation. I'm also trying to blend it towards the other shade, the white one. After that, I'm going to take eyeshadow Tanacon. This is a light beige matte eyeshadow. A lot of kickback from this eyeshadow too. And I'm blending the eyeshadow in the crease again, but closer to the eyelid. And this time I'm using a smaller brush. This is by Zoeva, the 225 brush. And I'm trying to diffuse this on the outer crease and also blend it outwards. I want to give a more uplifted effect to my eyes. I thought it would be just a little bit darker, but you can see the difference between the two eyes, so we have some intensity. On top of that, I'm going to use the Diet Root Beer eyeshadow, and this one is a light brown shade with a matte finish. I'm diffusing this eyeshadow in the outer corner of my eyes and crease. It gives a very nice definition to the eyes. This eyeshadow blended so easily. I didn't even have to go back and forth with this one. I'm also pressing a little bit of this eyeshadow on the outer third of my eyelid. It's not as dark as I thought it would be, but it blended super easily and fast. Moving on to the eyeshadow Illuminati. Illuminati. This one is a shimmery eyeshadow and it has a dark green color. With an eyeshadow brush by Bella Pierre, I'm going to press this on the outer eyelid. It is very easy to blend this eyeshadow in the crease colors. You don't see any patches. It is looking very soft and it's not easy for very dark eyeshadows like this one to blend so seamlessly in the brown eyeshadows. I'm taking now a little bit on my fingertip because I want to see if I can make it a little bit shinier. Definitely this eyeshadow is more vibrant and metallic when you press it with your fingertip. I'm blending a little bit the edges before I apply the next color. I'm going to take some eyeshadow with the brush, and on top of that I'm going to spray a little bit of the primer water by Smashbox. On this side the eyeshadow became more saturated and darker in color with the setting spray, but it's not as metallic as on the other eye, so if you want to make this eyeshadow shinier, definitely use it with your fingertip. On the rest of the eyelid I want to use just the Theory. This is a shimmery eyeshadow and it has a beautiful light champagne color, and I'm pressing that on the eyelid with an eyeshadow brush by Essence. So it's not ultra shiny. I want to see if with a sponge tip applicator I can amplify the sheen. You can definitely make this shinier with your sponge tip applicator. On the other eye I'm going to use this with a setting spray. With a setting spray, this eyeshadow becomes more metallic. It looks like a foil eyeshadow, but also it intensifies the lines of my eyes and it gives more texture that I don't like. I want my eyes to look super smooth with shiny eyeshadows. The sheen of this eyeshadow is definitely more intense with a setting spray, but I don't like that it adds more texture to my eyes. I can say also the same for this one. The two shimmery eyeshadows are blending very well into each other. For the outer lower lash line, I want to use this one here. It is called Not a Fact and it is a matte eyeshadow with a beautiful purple vibrant color. I'm going to buff this on my eyes with a smudging brush by Urban Decay. Very nice shade. Ooh. That blended with two moves. It has a very nice pigmentation and I have used just a little bit of product on my brush. I'm very happy with this one. With just one layer of this eyeshadow, it has a very nice color payoff. I'm going to use just a little bit more. It has such a nice blendability that you don't need another shade to blend the edges of it. Next, let's continue with this Tricia eyeshadow, and it is this vibrant pink shimmery shade. This one has a very dry formula. It is a little bit grainy. It reminds me the Huda Beauty palette, the Desert Dusk. With the same brush as before, I'm going to use this eyeshadow in the inner part of my lower lash line. So this one actually looks better than the swatches and it has a very nice intensity of color. Okay, it blended fantastically well with the purple eyeshadow. It is like ombre. On the eyes it looks more like a satin eyeshadow. With a second layer, you can make the color pop more on your eyes. Afterwards, I'm going to take eyeshadow pigment and it is this matte pink eyeshadow. And with this one, I'm going over the edges of the lower lash line. It blends super easily on my skin, but I think that I covered the purple eyeshadow that I had in the outer corner. I'm going to take a little bit of eyeshadow Not a Fact and use it again on that area. Now I want to deepen up a little bit more the outer crease, so I'm going to take eyeshadow Not a Fact. I took a very small amount of the eyeshadow. It blends fantastically with all of the other shades. With just a very small amount of this shade, I gave a very light purple color to the skin. Next, I'm going to take my rights here, and this one is a black matte eyeshadow. I'm going to place this one very close to my lashes to outline the shape of my eyes, and I'm using the eyebrow brush by Essence. This eyeshadow has a very nice color payoff. You don't need to use a lot of it, and you can see how pigmented it is on the eyes. I want to use again Eyeshadow Ranch, and this time I'm going to highlight the tear duct with a pencil brush by Morphe. I think I have blended it very well on the brow bone, and I couldn't see this beautiful sheen because in the tear duct you can see how shiny it is. I want to add the light green eyeshadow that we have here between the two shades, and it is called Conspiracy. It is a light green shimmery eyeshadow. I'm pressing that on the eyelid with an eyeshadow brush by Bella Pierre. I'm not going to use more because I don't want to cover the light champagne. So I have used just a little bit of this shade, and it has a very nice pigmentation. This is actually the first eyeshadow palette that I have tried by Jeffree Star Cosmetics. The blendability of the eyeshadows is fantastic, but some of them are not as shiny as I was anticipating. About the packaging, the palette is heavy and it's not easy to do your makeup and hold it at the same time. The clasps are well made, the mirror is very clear, and the whole palette is very well designed. It is not very practical because it is big and bulky, but it is a lot prettier than it looks in pictures. I think that you can create a lot of everyday looks with this palette. I also like the stamps of the eyeshadows, but we are here for the quality of them, and I will use the remaining of the shades that I didn't use today. Let me know if you want to see another makeup tutorial, and I'm also going to update you about my whole experience with this palette. I have also unboxed a mystery box by Jeffree Star Cosmetics. You can find it here. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and also click on the notification bell, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!